If you are planning a trip to Paris, how do you decide what to do? There are the places that people dream about visiting on their first visit to Paris, like the Eiffel Tower and the Louvre. But there are also neighborhoods to explore and new foods to try. This Paris travel guide contains 45 of the best experiences you can have in Paris. Don't expect to see them all on your first trip to Paris. Paris is the type of city that you will want to visit again and again. We make our first stop at the world-famous Eiffel Tower. Without a doubt, the Eiffel Tower is one of Paris' most recognizable landmarks. For many people, it's thrilling the first time you see the Eiffel Tower. And for first-timers, a visit to Paris would not be complete without a trip up the Eiffel Tower. The Eiffel Tower consists of 3 levels. The first and second levels can be accessed by elevator or the stairs. The third level can only be accessed by elevator. It is cheaper and the lines are shorter if you take the stairs. If you choose to take the stairs, you can purchase an elevator ticket to reach the third level. The adult price applies to adults 25 years and over. There are discount rates for young people 12 to 24 years old, children 4 to 11 years old, and for those with disabilities. Admission is free for children under 4 years old. The price of the ticket varies upon how you go up. That is, by elevator and/or stairs, and the destination second floor or the upper floor. Here is an Eiffel Tower travel tip. Purchase your tickets online as soon as you book your trip. Sometimes tickets are sold out months in advance. Ticket information is displayed on the screen. The Louvre. Once a palace, the Louvre is the largest art museum in the world. During the French Revolution in the 18th century, the Louvre was converted to a museum. The Louvre is massive and you could literally spend days here. However, you can see the highlights, which include the Mona Lisa, Venus de Milo, and the Winged Victory, in just an hour or two. There are several ways to avoid waiting in a long line to get into the Louvre. The museum is open daily except Tuesdays. Last entry is 1 hour before closure. Tickets can be used to access both the permanent collections and temporary exhibitions. Time slot bookings are recommended, including for free admission visitors. Here is a tip for visiting the Louvre. It is free for all visitors on the first Friday of the month after 6 p.m. except in July and August and on 14th of July. Tickets cost €17. It is advised to purchase tickets ahead of your visit. For the full list of persons who can enter the Louvre free, please see displayed information on screen. Walk along the Champs-Élysées. This is one of the most recognizable streets in the world. It runs from Place de la Concorde to the Arc de Triomphe. Sitting at the top of the Champs-Élysées is the Arc de Triomphe. From the top of the Arc you get one of the best views of Paris. Look down the Champs-Élysées to the Louvre, out to La Défense, and over the rooftops to the Eiffel Tower. At night, you can watch Paris and the Eiffel Tower sparkle. Tickets range in price from €13 to about €28. Purchase your tickets online in advance. Opening hours are 10 a.m. to 10:30 p.m. daily except on Saturdays. Here is an Arc de Triomphe travel tip. Download the Arc de Triomphe app before you go. This app gives you interesting facts about the Arc de Triomphe and helps identify buildings you see from the terrace. Ile de la Cité is an island in the River Seine in the center of Paris. In the 4th century, it was the site of the fortress of the Roman governor. Once known as Lutetia, Ile de la Cité is the oldest settlement in Paris and boasts more than its fair share of Parisian sites. This historic Parisian isle is connected by the ancient Pont Neuf bridge. From this bridge, enjoy the view of the Seine River, Pont des Arts and the Eiffel Tower off in the distance. The Notre Dame Cathedral and the Pont de l'Archevêque can be found here. Notre Dame de Paris, referred to simply as Notre Dame, is a medieval Catholic cathedral. The cathedral, dedicated to the Virgin Mary, is considered one of the finest examples of French Gothic architecture. Construction of Notre Dame started in the year 1163 and concluded in the year 1345. Notre Dame Tower is 69 meters or 226 feet high. The nave is 35 meters or 115 feet high. The spire is 91.44 meters or 300 feet high. Please take note of this Notre Dame travel tip. The nave of Notre Dame de Paris will be reopened for religious services and visitors in December 2024, 5.5 years after it was gutted by fire. Just a short walk from Notre Dame is Sainte-Chapelle, another gorgeous cathedral and one of the world's best displays of stained glass. Lines to get into Sainte-Chapelle are usually long, but it's worth the wait. The Sainte-Chapelle and Conciergerie can be a combined visit. The Conciergerie is just 1-minute walk from Sainte-Chapelle. The Conciergerie is a former courthouse and prison. One of its most notable inmate is Marie Antoinette. It is now a national monument and museum. Ticket prices are displayed on the screen. Opening hours are 9:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. daily, except for Saturdays when it is closed. It is highly recommended to book tickets online in advance for both locations. Here is a Conciergerie travel tip. It is free on the first Sunday of the month from November to March. The Place de la Concorde is one of the major public squares in Paris, France. Construction started in 1757. Place de la Concorde has an area of 7.6 hectares or 18.78 acres. It is 359 meters or 1,178 feet in length. King Louis XVI and Marie Antoinette were guillotined here. There is no charge for coming here. Travel information is on screen. The Big Wheel on Place de la Concorde. From mid-November to early May, a giant Ferris wheel sits in Place de la Concorde. If the line is short and you want a nice view of Paris, consider taking a ride. The Palace of Versailles is a former royal residence built by King Louis XIV. It is about 19 kilometers or a tad under 12 miles west of Paris, France. The palace is open at 9 a.m. every day except Monday. The Trianon estate opens at noon, from Tuesday to Sunday. Remember to book the audio guide, available in 12 languages. A distribution desk is available in the vestibule of the Gabriel's Pavilion every day except on Mondays. The mobile app is also available. Download the audio tours, consult the opening times in real time and follow your tour on the interactive map of the estate. Open every day, the park and gardens are free from November to March. From April to October, access to the gardens is charged from Tuesday to Sunday. These are the days of the fountains, shows and musical gardens. To make the most of your visit at Versailles, plan to spend a full day at the estate. Guided tours allow you to visit otherwise closed rooms. Conditions for free admission is displayed on screen. There are a bunch of great restaurants and bars that offer views over the city. Why not watch the sunset and enjoy a fabulous dinner at the same time from a rooftop? The Musée d'Orsay is a museum in Paris, France. It sits on the left bank of the Seine. It is housed in the former Gare d'Orsay, a Beaux-Arts railway station built between 1898 and 1900. The museum holds mainly French art dating from 1848 to 1914. These including paintings, sculptures, furniture, and photography. Musée d'Orsay is open from 9:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. Sunday to Friday. Exceptions are on Mondays when it is closed and on Thursdays when it is open from 9:30 a.m. to 9:45 p.m. 3.2 million visitors visited this museum in 2022. You can purchase a combination ticket with Musée de l'Orangerie for €20. Tickets can be purchased online in advance. Information is displayed on screen. Eat street food crepes. Small stands selling crepes can be found all over Paris. These make delicious, cheap snacks, perfect to satisfy your sweet tooth and give you a pick-me-up while sightseeing. Visit Le Marais. Le Marais is one of Paris' most interesting neighborhoods. Stroll along Rue de Rosiers. Pompidou Center. This is the largest modern art museum in Europe. It has an interesting design, with all of its plumbing and pipes located on the exterior of the museum and color-coded in vibrant colors. It's definitely a unique sight to see. This is a large museum. You could wander here for hours. From the top level of the museum, you are treated to another wonderful view of Paris. Take a food tour. One of the best things to do while in Paris is to eat. A great way to sample some of the best foods in Paris is to take a food tour. Sample French bread, wine, cheese, and more, as a local guide takes you to some of the best spots in the city. Visit Montmartre. Montmartre is one of Paris' most popular neighborhoods to visit. Wander the maze of hilly streets, have your portrait drawn at Place du Tertre, and have a drink at one of the many cafes that spill out onto the streets here. Watch the sunset from the steps of the Sacré-Cœur. The Sacré-Cœur Basilica sits atop the highest hill in Paris. Join the crowds on the steps and watch the sunset. You also have the option to climb the 300 steps to the top of the dome for an even better view. The basilica is open every day from 6:30 a.m. to 10:30 p.m. Entrance is free and reservation is not needed. This basilica was opened in 1875. The Wall of Love. The Wall of Love is a 40 square meter wall decorated with enameled lava tiles containing declarations of love in 250 different languages. It's free to visit and worth a quick visit if you are in the area. It sits right next to the Abbesses metro stop. Moulin Rouge. This spellbinding and risque cabaret has been drawing in the crowds with its pulsating songs. It is performed by talented dancers dressed in outrageous costumes. Shows are offered at 7 p.m., 9 p.m., and 11 p.m. Sip on sparkling champagne and watch the show. Canal Saint-Martin is a small waterway lined with boutique shops and cafes. This area is more popular with locals. So, if you're tired of the tourist crowds, escape here for a quiet afternoon and dinner at one of the cafes. Indulge at Angelina. Angelina, located on Rue de Rivoli near the Louvre, is one of the best spots to visit for decadent hot chocolate and delicious French pastries. Pont de l'Archevêché. The Pont de l'Archevêché, one of the narrowest bridges in Paris, is the spot for couples who want to immortalize their love. The Pont de l'Archevêché, reserved for pedestrians and cyclists, is also a pleasant place to walk, linking the Ile de la Cité to the 5th arrondissement. Go shopping at the Bouquinistes. Stretch out along the Seine and declared a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The Bouquinistes span 3 kilometers or almost 2 miles. 240 Bouquinistes make use of 900 stalls to house some 300,000 old books, journals, stamps and trading cards. Luxembourg Garden. This garden is famed for its calm atmosphere. Take a break from the busy Paris here. Its creation began in 1612 by Marie de Medici, widow of King Henry IV. Seine River Cruise. For a relaxing experience, take a cruise on the Seine River and enjoy the view as the landmarks of Paris drift by. Cruises are offered all day. For the best experience, go at twilight so you can watch as Paris lights up around you. Mindalingua. This museum is dedicated to linguistics, from how babies learn to talk to endangered and extinct languages. It's geared to all ages. Older kids and young adults benefit from a visit here the most. The museum is open on Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Other days and times may be available by appointment. From the observation deck of Montparnasse Tower, you can get an amazing panoramic view of Paris. The Catacombs. The catacombs of Paris are underground ossuaries. They hold the remains of more than 6 million people in a small part of a tunnel network built to consolidate Paris's ancient stone quarries. Established in 1810, it is 65 feet deep. The catacombs are open daily from 9:45 a.m. to 8:30 p.m. On Mondays, it is closed. To minimize waiting time in line at the catacombs, purchase tickets online prior, join a skip-the-line tour or visit very late in the day. Visit Paris's Sewer Museum. Here's another unusual tourist attraction and another chance to descend under the streets of Paris. During this visit, you will learn not only about the sewer system but also about how Paris has grown over the past several centuries. Most visits last about an hour. But if you can't stand the smell, your visit may be much quicker. Musée de l'Orangerie. This is a small museum that features impressionist artwork. The highlights of this museum are the 8 water lilies murals painted by Claude Monet. You can also see art by Picasso, Sisley, Cézanne, Matisse, and more. The museum is open from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., Wednesday through Monday, and closed on Tuesday. Tickets cost €13. It is free with the museum pass. A combination ticket with Musée d'Orsay costs €20. Dine at a street cafe. Walk across Pont Alexandre III. The bridge was a gift to the citizens of Paris from Russian Tsar Alexander III. It crosses the Seine between the fantastic Grand Palais and Petit Palais on the left bank and the Invalides complex on the right bank. Dozens of TV commercials, print ads and magazine layouts have been shot here, including a very popular Chanel commercial. Pont Alexandre III was also featured in James Bond, A View to Kill and Midnight in Paris. Journey out to La Défense and leave the crowds behind for a view from the top of La Grande Arche. This view may not have the same wow factor as those from the Arc de Triomphe or Notre Dame Cathedral, but from here you can see most of Paris sprawling out in front of you. Stroll through Saint-Germain-des-Prés. This is another very popular area to stroll. Filled with small lanes, boutique shops and a bunch of very famous cafes, Saint-Germain-des-Prés is a fun spot to spend an afternoon. Shakespeare & Company. Shakespeare & Company is an English-language bookstore opened in 1951 by George Whitman. It is located on Paris's left bank. The store was named after Sylvia Beach's bookstore of the same name founded in 1919, on the left bank, which closed in 1941. Rodin Museum. This small museum features sculptures by Rodin. It's quick and fun to visit. If you are traveling with kids, this is a museum they may actually like. Just ask them to pose like the statues. If you are looking for a very cool dinner or drink spot, go to the Buddha Bar. The lower level is a restaurant. Along the second level are lounge areas with views over the restaurant. It feels like you have left Paris and entered Asia. Visit the Pantheon. The Pantheon is a building in the Latin Quarter in Paris. It was originally built as a church to house the reliquary of Saint Genevieve. After many changes, it is now hosting a secular mausoleum with the ashes of prominent French citizens. Built in the 18th century by Jacques-Germain Soufflot, the Pantheon is a monument of neoclassical style. Its facade is similar to the Pantheon in Rome. Get spectacular views of Paris from the Pantheon's dome. Palais Garnier. Boasting an eclectic and ostentatious Baroque design, the Opera Garnier is one of the most extravagant representations of Second Empire architecture in France. Operas and ballets are performed here. This opera house is the setting for the book and musical, The Phantom of the Opera. During your visit you can tour the opera house or watch a performance. Visit Père Lachaise. Père Lachaise Cemetery is one of the best known and most visited cemeteries in the world. A visit here may sound like a macabre way to spend an afternoon, but a stroll among the tombstones and mausoleums can be fascinating. Père Lachaise is free to visit. If you want to get more out of the experience, you can take a guided tour. This tour lasts 2 to 3 hours and you can see the final resting places of famous people such as Edith Piaf, Jim Morrison, and Chopin. Rue Claire. The 7th arrondissement is home to Rue Claire, one of the best market streets in Paris. Find a wonderful selection of specialty food stores, pastry shops, butchers, delicatessens, cheese specialists, fishmongers, greengrocers, chocolate shops and cafes. Most of the street is a pedestrian area and still has its original cobblestones. This authentic market street is where the locals go to buy their favorite foods or sit on one of the many café terraces with friends and family and watch the world go by. Visit Galeries Lafayette. The Galeries Lafayette is an upscale French department store. Even if you are not in the mood to go shopping, it still may be worth the quick visit. It is gorgeous inside, with a colorful stained glass ceiling and ornately decorated balconies. You can even learn how to bake macaron from a French pastry chef.